I'd like to read from Habakkuk chapter 1. Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 5. It says in the NIV version, "Look at the nations and watch, and be utterly amazed, for I am going to do something in your days that you would not believe, even if you were told." That was one of the two passages that the Lord gave to our founding fathers in 1975. Part of the story you have already heard, how some young men, youths they were, left from the south, going north of the country to serve the nation, the National Youth Service Corps. They left with this consciousness of the fact that there is a God who saves, and a God who loves, and a God who desires to bring his salvation to any and every, to mankind. So they spent their time, and in December 1974, they thought it would be a noble thing to share the gospel of Christ with those who didn't know him. They organized themselves, got the right permissions they would have obtained, and there in Zaria City, the walled city of Zaria, they proclaimed the gospel of Jesus Christ. In that proclamation, the message was conveyed. People heard, and some were actually willing to respond positively. But by the time the altar call was made, the consequences that followed were completely different from what was expected. Little did the men and women who organized the crusade know that the context in which they were presenting the gospel wasn't as hospitable as it was down south. Rather than having appreciation, they received stones, received pellets of different kinds, whether it be tins of milk, tomatoes, whatever they found, people stoned them, and some of them were wounded. They actually ran for their lives from Zaria City. And running from their lives, they had times to sit back, to retreat, and to ask God why. They had desire to proclaim what was a blessing, what was joy, what was godly. The desire to bring light and life to a people, and what they got in return were the stones and the pellets and the injuries that they carried with them. And then the Lord said to them that he was sending them back to the same people. This, in the midst of that mandate, he gave this scripture, which I just read before you. And he said, if they were told what he was going to do, even among the nations, they will not believe it.